books that I've been reading, because I've been reading them. Oh, sorry. Oh, my leg is itching. From Google, like Play Books, instead of like physical copies. I have two books that are physical copies that I've read. One I just tried to read, which it's probably gonna be a hot take for me, but I'm gonna push myself to finish it, but I've read like 3 more books in the time, and so when I come back to this book, so I'm gonna try to read it. I am gonna make myself read it because I'm not a quitter, but anyways, this book I found from a book talk on like TikTok. It's called Local Woman Missing, and it is, I thought it was maybe going to be overrated, overhyped, but I really, really loved it. It's like a thriller, like a psychological thriller type book. I have you on the edge of your seat, really, wondering who did it. So, it's by Mary Kubica. I want to say, I don't know if that's the proper pronunciation, but it says, people don't just disappear without a trace. Shelby Depot is the first to go missing not long after Meredith Dickey and her 6-year-old daughter, Delilah, vanished just blocks away from where Shelby was last seen, striking fear into their once peaceful community. Are these incidences connected? After an elusive search that yields more questions than answers, the case eventually goes cold. Now 11 years later, Delilah shockingly returns. Everyone wants to know what happens to her, but no one is prepared for what they'll find. So that one was really, 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 really good. Then we have, this is another Mary Kubica. I'm not sure I'm saying that right, but it's called The Other Misses. I just finished that today. It says, a woman is drawn into a mysterious web of secrets in this twisty whodunit. Sadie and Will Boust had just moved their family from bustling Chicago to a coastal island in Maine when their neighbor Morgan Baines is found dead in her home. The murder rocks their tiny coastal island, but no one is more shaken than Sadie. But it's not just Morgan's death that has Sadie on edge. As the eyes of suspicion turn toward the new family in town, Sadie is drawn deeper into the mystery of what really happened that dark and deadly night. But Sadie must be careful, for the more she discovers about Mrs. Baines, the more she begins to realize just how much she has to lose if the truth ever comes to light. Sorry, my ear just kicked on. I hope that's just white noise and not too loud for you guys. Okay. Here is the next book that I read. It is called First Lie Wins by Ashley Elston. This book was so good, I loved it too. It's the identity comes first. Once she's given a name and location by her mysterious boss, Mr. Smith, she learns everything there is to know about the town and the people in it. Then she learns about her mark, Ryan Sumner. The last piece of the puzzle is the job. Evie isn't privy to Mr. Smith's real identity, but she knows this job isn't like the others. Ryan has gotten under her skin, and she's starting to envision a different sort of life for herself. But Evie can't make any mistakes, especially after what happened the last time. She must stay one step ahead of her past while making sure there's still a future in front of her. The stakes couldn't be higher. This book was super good, super well written, had a lot of twists and turns, person. Sometimes thrillers, like psychological, like thrillers and that kind of thing, are a little too much for me to read before bed. This one was just, the right amount of mystery, the right amount of thrill. There wasn't too much like sappy romance, but there was romance enough to keep it interesting. So I really liked it a lot. This next one is super mushy, and I loved every second of it. It's like 2000s rom-com in book form, but like just like the best versions of those, like all put together. It's just everything that you want. If you want like just a good, light, like beachy read, these next few ones are definitely that. Light reads that don't have you on the edge of your seat. You're just, you want to know what happens next. You're excited to read them, but you're not nervous or, on edge or anything. So sometimes these are like my go-tos, especially for before bed, and just like I'm out by the pool with the kids and stuff. So it's called Yours Truly by Abby Jimenez. Dr. Brianna Ortiz's life is seriously flatlining. Her divorce is just about finalized. Her brother's running out of time to find a kidney donor, and that promotion she wants. Oh, that's probably going to the new male doctor who's already registering on Brianna's pain in my ass scale. But when all systems are set to hate Dr. Jacob Maddox, he completely flips. He completely flips the game by sending Brianna a letter, and it's a really good letter, like the kind that proves that Jacob isn't actually Satan. Worse, he might be fantastically funny and likable. Who's terrible at first impressions, because suddenly he and Brianna are exchanging letters, sharing lunch dates in her sob closet, and discussing the merits of freakishly tiny horses. But when Jacob decides to give Brianna the best gift imaginable, I'm not going to spill what that is, even though it did in the summary. I'm not going to do that. She wonders how she can resist this handsome new doctor, especially when he calls in a favor she can't refuse. It was so good. I really loved it. It was like mushy gushy. I just loved it. It was just a very girls read, or for the girls and the gays. Well, I guess guys too, if you like a mushy gushy, It's not too mushy gushy, but it's just enough that you're rooting for him. You're like, this is a good one if you've been watching Love Island and you need something to fill that Love Island, hole in your heart. Okay, this next one is the series. It's like more of a young adult series. It has you on the edge of your seat, but like not too much where you're like not too much of a thriller, or like it is, but it's more geared, I guess, you're young adult, so it's not as intense almost, but not quite. It's the Good Girls Guide to Murder series. There's 3 books in the Good Girls Guide to Murder series. I believe it's Good Girls Guide to Murder, Good Girl Gone Bad, and I can't think of the other one, but they're really good. Basically, she's trying to solve an old murder from her town, and she meets up with the brother who was involved, and they form a connection. She ends up, solving this. She creates a podcast, and podcasts it and interviews people, and ends up solving this murder that they thought they had already solved, but it ends up they were wrong. And then the sequels are just her doing her thing more and more, and her getting deeper involved, and they're all really, really good, and I enjoyed all of them. Sorry, I have a piece of fuzz on my nose. Okay. That was that one. passing, and then she is running it, and then one day this man that she's thought about all these years comes back into her life, and it is really cute. I really did like it. It wasn't like my number one favorite read of the summer, but I would probably give it like a 4 out of 5. I mean, it was still good. I mean, maybe a 3.5 out of 5. It was good. Like I said, it's a light read, but it wasn't as good as the last one, yours truly, but it was really good. Now, the book Every Summer After by Carly Fortune is the same writer that wrote Meet Me at the Lake. Every Summer After was way better in my opinion. It is about this girl, her name's Persephone, I think. She goes back to like her family's house by the bay, and she's at, it's almost like if you've seen this show, The Summer I Turned Pretty, if you've seen or read those books, it's that vibe. She goes back years later to this town on the bay. Is, her love interest's mom had recently passed. They grew up together. They, young love, but it just, as such a really sweet story. I was really obsessed with this. Couldn't put it down. It was really, really good. It was one I wanted to it to have a sequel. And then Meet Me at the Lake, I thought was gonna be more to the Every Summer After, just more to their story, even though it wrapped up nicely. And it was, I think that's maybe why I was a little let down, because I was like, oh, I really wanted just more to their story. But I hope that she writes a continuation of their story, because even though she wrapped it up so nicely, I just wanted more. I loved everything about them, and it has a lot of lovey-dovey scenes, so if you're not into that, I would skip that, but it was really, really good. Sorry, I keep saying when I haven't filmed in a while, I just do it out of habit, I'm sorry. Same time next summer. I wish I would have wrote down who this is by, but I saw this on TikTok, this same time next summer. It's a really good, perfect beach read. She goes back to her beach house. She's got a fiance. She's planning her wedding. The boy who lives next door was her young love that she's always, thought about. Everyone has a young, their first love that she grew up dating, and he ends up being there when she's there, and they just, you have to read it, but they kick off, and it's just, his name's Wyatt, and they just have a really good chemistry. It's really cute. It's really good. It's it's really good beach read. I loved that one as well. And I've read I'd read 21 books this summer, so I know that's not some people have read a lot more, but those are just my top reads. Some reads that I read are just so, I just read them just to have something to read. If they're on sale or something, I just will read them, and they're not really the best, but those ones are all, I love them. This book was really good. I borrowed it from my mom, and she lent it to me. She's lent me a bunch of books, but this one was the one that I was really liked. It's called The Last Word by Taylor Adams, and I've also read The Hairpin Bridge and No Exit by this author as well. And I can't remember No Exit very well, but Hairpin Bridge was really good. The Last Words, This has a crazy twist ending. I'll see if it has like on the back it just has like people rating it like New York Times bestseller and stuff. I'll see if it has like a summary. Okay, here's a summary. Emma Carpenter is living in isolation with her golden retriever, Laika, house sitting in an old beachfront home on the rainy Washington coast. Her only human contact is with an elderly neighbor named Deke, and via text with the house's owner, Jules. One day she reads a poorly written but gruesome horror novel by the author H.G. Cain. She posts a one-star review that drags her into an online argument with the author himself. Soon after, disturbing incidences start to occur at night. To Emma, this can't just be a coincidence. It was strange enough for this author to bicker with her online about a lousy review. Could he be stalking her now too? As Emma digs into Cain's life and work, she learns he has published 16 other novels, all similarly sadistic tales of stalking and murder. But who is he? How did he find her? And what else is he capable of? Displaying his trademark command of rapid-fire pacing, unnerving atmosphere, and razor-sharp characterization, Taylor Adams once again delivers a diabolically disturbing and deadly game of cat and mouse. This was really good. I didn't want to put it down. Now this book, I've started it, I've not finished it. It's been really slow going so far. I know this is going to be, the readers are going to eat me alive, but Stephen King, Doomonkey. After a terrible construction site accident severed Edgar Freemantle's right arm, scrambled his mind, and imploded his marriage, the wealthy Minnesota builder faces the ordeal of rehabilitation, all alone and full of rage. Renting a house on Doomonkey, a stunningly beautiful and eerily underdeveloped splinter off the Florida coast, Edgar slowly emerges from his prison of pain to bond with Elizabeth Eastlake, a sick, elderly woman whose roots are tangled deep in this place. And as he heals, he paints, feverishly, compulsively, his exploding talent, both a one